is it.
Yeah.
Welcome to In the Moment. I'm your host, Brennan.
And I'm your other host, Bryant.
That was a really cringy intro. I'm just gonna say it.
That wasn't very bad.
I mean, we're
It
new to
been
this.
worse.
This is.
It could have been worse.
You're right. You're right.
Could have been a lot worse.
It could have been a lot better.
Yeah, it probably could have been. Could have been.
So yeah, I was a little bit late getting here.
Yeah, why were you late? That was okay. So we were supposed to meet at 10, and it's now 11. We're
Yeah.
supposed to start around 10:15.
Yeah.
And that didn't happen. So where were you?
Well, so you texted me and said you're gonna be like 10 minutes late. So I was like, oh, I got time to spare. Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna fix my hair or something. I don't know. So I was
Yeah,
like,
it looks nice, by the way. It's good.
Thank you. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna kill some time. So I played a little bit of Xbox,
Oh,
whatever.
Oh, there you go.
That's
a black hole
but
right
that's
there.
Not. But
You
that's
just
not
start
why.
playing Xbox.
That's not why I'm late.
Oh, okay.
I left to like kind of time our timing in the same, so we could both get there at the same time. I like
Yeah.
planned it out and stuff.
Yeah.
And I went to go get gas.
Oh, well, that would.
Just listen. So I went to go get gas, and at the gas station, I walked in. There was like several cars outside. So I was like, "Oh, there's gonna be people in here. Cool." So I walked in. There was no one in the gas station.
So it was
So
just you.
I'm thinking, I've seen movies.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, oh my goodness, like someone's robbed this place, killed everybody in here, and I'm next.
Oh,
So
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like,
totally.
what is gonna happen to me? I'm like, I've seen a TV show where like that happens. Like there are cars outside, and
There's just a bunch of bodies in the back.
and
or
there's
something.
and then and the guy that was paying for gas turns around to go get gas and gets shot.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm like, immediately I start running. Like I'm literally running. And it looks so.
That must have
looks
made
so
a great.
stupid.
A great
I'm running.
Brennan running from the gas station.
I get in my car and I crank it up and I drive about 10 minutes down the road to another gas station. And so that's
Yeah.
why I'm late.
Okay.
I had to
was
go
it
out
10
of my way to go to a
Okay.
different gas station because I was scared.
Okay. Yeah. So like, if point A is your house and point B is where we're doing this, and the original gas station was directly in between them.
Yes, it
you,
was.
You kind of went to point C, which is like.
So the original gas station is right before you get onto the highway to come here.
Okay.
And I stopped there, and then the other gas station is all the way on the other side of town.
Oh.
I don't live in a
that
big
would-
town,
Yeah.
but it it was still kind of I went out of my way.
Okay. Yeah.
And so that's why I'm
Because you didn't want to get killed.
so that's why I'm late.
Yeah, that's a fair assessment. That's
Let's
a fair assessment.
let's jump right into it.
Okay,
You
what
just
you
got
got?
back from Peru.
I did. I had the chance to go to Peru. That
Tell
was
me
exciting.
about that. Why did you go to Peru?
Well, I worked at a summer camp this summer, and they send a group of about 10 to 15 people to Peru over New Year's each year, because Peru's in the southern hemisphere and therefore it's summer over New Year's for them. And so we went down there and we ran a 1-week day camp for the children in Trujillo.
What was that like?
So that was really exciting. It was a lot of fun. Each day we'd get there around 8, and then we'd have to set up the camp because it was a rented space. It wasn't actually, it wasn't a permanent camp. So it was a rented space, and so we'd get there and we'd set up, and then the children would arrive around 8:15. We'd welcome them in, and then we had 5 activities each day, or the kids had 5 activities each day. They'd go to all of the activities. And then, and so we had 5 activity periods, and I helped out with sports. So a lot of soccer, or as they say, football.
Yeah, they call it football with a U.
Yeah.
They spell it wrong.
I was converted while there. I think that's the proper way.
What do you mean converted?
Football. I call it football.
Oh, you call
now.
it football now.
Yeah,
Oh,
football.
you're one of those.
Yeah, football. But yeah, it was great. We also taught them kickball. The camp director decided that this year she's wanted to teach them kickball for a while now, but
Sorry.
Are you okay there?
Yeah, I popped my elbow.
Yeah, that was pretty loud. But she wanted to teach them kickball because she thought they would like it for a while now, because it's kind of soccer, baseball. It's like, that's how I would describe kickball. It's baseball, only soccer.
Yeah, baseball with your foot.
Yeah. So, and yeah,
It's football.
yeah. No, it's kickball. So we decided to do that, and it was fun. We taught them kickball. They didn't like it as much as she had hoped, I think, but they liked it. And
So they had never played kickball before?
they had never played kickball, so we had to teach that to them. And then none of us really spoke Spanish, so we were working through a translator that had also never played kickball
Yeah, I
before.
was
So we
gonna
had to
ask you-
explain it to him in English. And he had to try and understand it well enough that he could translate the meaning into Spanish.
I was going to
and
ask
then
you about the
speak
language
that.
barrier.
Yeah. The language barrier was not as bad for me as it was for some people because I have a little bit of understanding of Spanish. I'm currently in the pursuit of trying to learn it.
Are you taking it in school or something?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
Supposedly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm currently in the pursuit of trying to learn it. And
Fun fact, I'm bilingual.
really.
Parlez-vous français?
Oh, really? Are you fluent in French?
No.
No. Okay.
I can say that and je t'aime,
There we
which
go.
means I love you.
Oh, well, okay. Well, please don't. Uh, yeah, I can speak a little bit of Spanish, so the language barrier wasn't as bad for me, and I picked up a bunch there. Just learning it is the key. Being a fast learner, knowing how to learn, I feel like, is the key.
Yeah. That's I've never gotten the opportunity to travel out of the country. I've never been past Texas.
Wow. What about north? Going north?
Tennessee.
Tennessee. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so for those of you who don't know where we are, like those of you who aren't just our friends
Yeah.
listening out of charity,
Matter of fact,
they'll be able to pinpoint where
people
we.
listening are probably going to be our friends. Right now we don't have any listeners, any followers, anything like that.
Or many friends.
It's
to
kind
be
of
honest.
it's kind of a sad story. We all have the same friends is the problem.
Yeah. So we need to branch out a little bit.
Like if you combine our friends, we probably have like 200 apiece, but they're all the same people, so we actually only have like 200 friends.
Yeah.
And actually,
roughly. Well, I only have like 10. 'Cause
Okay.
Most people get to know me
I
and then
say
they reject me.
I say friends. I mean like acquaintance, people we know.
Yeah, that's fair. Well, I know some people because I didn't always live here, so I know some people elsewhere.
But anyway, back to Peru.
Yeah.
That was loud. Rest in peace, headphone users.
Yeah, we should back
back
up
to-
a little bit.
Back to
There we go.
Peru. Shoot, I forgot what I was gonna ask you.
Well,
Oh, New Year's in Peru.
Oh.
How different is it?
well, it was 93 degrees, so that was kind of different. It's a different experience having New Year's and Christmas in
Are there
summer.
different traditions? Because I know here, not for me personally, but people in New Year's that tends to be the night where everyone drinks.
Yeah, so
Here in Mississippi, especially, New Year's Eve is like the time to drink.
yeah, okay.
Um,
So there it's I think yes. But what shocked me most was everyone does fireworks. And, living in America, I think a lot of times we think we do the most fireworks.
yeah.
But it's not even
There
a
were more
comparison.
fireworks.
I was in Trujillo, or as they say, Trujillo.
Trujillo. That's how they spell it.
Yeah, and I was there, and I was on the 4th floor of our hotel, just looking out across the city, and literally the entire horizon was just fireworks going off. It was incredible. I have a
That's
video,
amazing.
actually, of just
You
the
can show
fireworks
me afterwards.
everywhere. Ridiculous, and I'm not kidding. You could not look off in the horizon and not see fireworks.
I know that's a thing here.
It was
It's not
crazy.
like crazy fireworks here, but I know that's a thing here. I didn't personally do that. You know what I did
What?
over New Year's?
Did you drink?
I didn't touch anything.
Okay. Whoa,
literally-
really? Not even your clothes.
Okay, I didn't touch any alcohol.
Okay, that's good.
I don't
That's
do
good.
that. But one thing I did all night long, I sat in my room with the lights turned out, played Fortnite on my phone.
Okay. Wow. That is
All night.
That's something. Okay. Well, oh wow, our laptop just went to.
Just went blank. Nice.
Well, it's not blank. It's just an amazing screensaver.
Yeah.
If I do say so myself.
Did
I'm
you
the
see?
one who picked
Did
it
you
out.
see? I don't know if you watch PewDiePie or not. but he has a new thing in his office. It's a TV with the old DVD thing, and it's hitting corner to corner. It's crazy.
That makes me
The
so
screensaver is
happy.
hitting corner to corner.
That
It's
makes me so
amazing.
happy. I feel like everyone needs to experience that at least once in their lives. That's on my bucket list,
It's
is
so
to see that
funny.
in real life. You know, to just because I feel like as a kid that you just sit there for hours just waiting and it never happened.
That was like I wasted half of my life doing
oh yeah,
that.
easily.
Speaking of New Year's, what was your 2018 like?
My 2018 was not a bad year. It was, I don't know, people either say it was a fantastic year or a really bad year, and I don't really hear a lot of people say it was just kind of a year, you know? It's never really like, oh, it's just a year. And I feel like it's just another year for me. And so it was a good year. There were good moments. It was also a bad year in some times, but it was altogether just another year that helped me grow. and move.
Economically, it was a horrible year for our economy.
Well, it was good at the beginning, and then it tanked. But
Yeah,
yeah,
we fell apart as a country at the end of this year.
Yeah.
Or not this year. We're currently in 2019.
That's right. That's right. I haven't had to write the date yet.
I have.
You have?
I did.
What was that like?
It just happened.
It just happened.
You know,
Did you mess
how
up the
you,
first
yeah,
time?
you know how you write 2018
Yeah.
and then it's 20 whatever.
Oh yeah. I do that all the time.
I did it on a job application.
Actually,
the other
not
day.
all the time.
It was quite embarrassing. The guy I did, it was a job application.
Yeah.
And I went in and the guy kind of looked at it and he looked at me. He looked back down at it and I was like, I messed up. He was like, yeah, it's okay. And then I walked out and I was like, that just cost me a job.
Yeah.
So,
That happens.
yeah,
sometimes.
2018 was an interesting year.
Yeah.
But
A lot of things happened.
I feel like since 2016,
The years have just stopped
it's
mattering.
yeah, I feel like 2016, 2017, 2018 could have not happened and we'd have been all right.
Would have been all right. Yeah. Yep.
I don't want to get into like politics, but our government and our economy fell apart.
Yeah. It did a little bit.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna do on this podcast from now on. Is we're gonna talk about Donald Trump and the wall.
No. But I do have to say this. In 2016, when they had all the presidential candidates running, this was before April, early in 2016. They had
Yeah.
all the presidential candidates, and they were having debates, and when April 1st came around, I legitimately was hoping they were going to be like, April Fools, here are the real presidential
This never
candidates.
happened.
But that didn't happen, unfortunately.
Yeah,
But
I remember.
I think that would have been a great joke. I do.
I remember when Donald Trump got elected. Like I'm not.
Let's just not even go there. So I have something I want to do.
Yeah.
So
Go
we're
for
gonna
it.
we're gonna start a moment here. We're
Moment.
going to
The podcast is called In the Moment.
yeah. So in this moment, we're gonna talk about a song that I have been really into. So we're gonna call it our song of the week.
Song of the week.
And let's see if I can pull it up here to make sure I get.
By the
all
way,
the
while
facts
while
right.
he's doing this is a weekly podcast. It'll come out every Saturday on YouTube. We're trying to get on iTunes and Spotify, but you have to have several podcasts recorded. And since this is our first one, it's not working out too great. We're going to try to be on CastBox and SoundCloud as well.
Yeah.
But we will put out an Instagram post and let everybody know. Of course, if you're watching this, you you already know. So, but we're going to promote the crap out of this. Just
Yeah.
saying.
Oh yeah. Totally. I'm trying to pull it up here, and I can't find it. And this is how obscure this song is. I googled it, and
I've
couldn't
never heard
find
of it. I've never heard of the band. Never heard of anything.
It's a good one. It's a good one.
Well,
Let's see if I
while
can
you're
pull
doing
it up
that, how
here.
important is 2019 going to be for you?
2019 is gonna be a year.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a year. Definitely going to be cool. I don't. I don't know. I don't have any like major plans for 2019 per se, but I want to say it's gonna be my year.
Yeah.
It's gonna be my year.
I think
2019.
that's the reasonable. Everyone assumes going into the new year that it's going to be their year, and then they get to the end and they look back and they're like, "Wait a minute, where did I go wrong?" And I think it's honestly, if you don't mind me saying, I think it's all that Fortnite. I think that just gets to people.
Fortnite definitely has something to do with everything. It's a way of life now.
Yeah, but it should die quick. Okay, but I pulled up the song.
We've got to
here.
tell our Fortnite story sometime.
Yes. Okay. We don't. Okay. Anyway, so we're gonna. I finally found it. I finally found it.
Okay.
So this song is called Eustace Scrub, and that's the character from Narnia by C.S. Lewis.
Yeah.
And so it's inspired by the story of Eustace, and the artist who wrote and performed this song is Sarah Sparks. It was released in 2014, and it's a fantastic song. It's
Do you want to play like 4 or 5 seconds of it?
yeah, I'm not sure here.
Is it on Spotify or anything?
Yeah, it's
I
on
can look it up
Spotify.
on Spotify. What's it
Let's
called?
get it up. Eustace.
I don't know how to spell that, but
It's right here. It's EUSTACE.
aha, found it. Here it
There
is,
you
right
go.
here.
It's right here. So let's.
Okay, that's all we can show you because of copyright.
It's an interesting song. I really enjoy it.
From the 4 seconds I heard it, it was all right.
I would recommend it. It's not your typical song. It's yeah, it's not your typical song, but it's good. And at the very end, the harmonies are just incredible. I think it's one of the most well done songs I've heard in a while, artistic wise. And that's something that I've opened my eyes to lately. Is I'm trying to produce an album.
Yeah, you're a musician. What's that like?
Well, I'm trying to produce an album, and it's hard. It's very hard. And so, having worked a little bit through music and trying to figure things like that out, I have really started to appreciate music more than I ever thought I could.
So are you like finding music that you don't listen to and you're just...
That and just the songs that I used to listen to and brush off as not being very cool or interesting. I've started to appreciate just how much work went into them. So I think it's easy for a lot of us to brush off Justin Bieber.
Yeah, that's my guy right there.
Yeah, I don't necessarily care for him because
I
always
care for him hard.
I always used to feel like he was just, just put some beats down and then sing, and I never really liked that.
He was in like 2008.
And he was also just like a pop icon that I couldn't get behind. But after having
Little
tried
Donny
to make
Osmond.
yeah, after having tried to make my own album, I've really appreciated exactly what it takes. And so I can, even though I don't necessarily like his music, I can enjoy it, if that makes sense. I can enjoy. I respect it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, here's the problem with that.
I feel like respect is key.
Here's the problem with that. Not all of those songs that he sings. I'm not digging Justin Bieber. I love Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
I highly listen to Justin Bieber.
Except for that little drummer boy song
High
he
Key.
produced.
I love that song.
That song is the worst.
But here's the
song
problem
in
with
the
here's the
history of
problem with that.
songs.
Because he was such a mainstream pop artist.
Yeah.
He didn't write his songs. He had
Yeah.
other people write his songs, and he just recorded them.
Yeah.
And he didn't even produce his stuff up until like 2015 when he came out with his latest album.
Yeah.
All that.
I do have
not
to say,
all of it,
his
most of
latest
it's
album
stuff.
is pretty good. It's got some fire songs
You wanna know
on
why?
there. Why?
It's got the one song written by Ed Sheeran.
Oh yeah, that song. That is my dude right there. Ed Sheeran. Wow, he can write.
There's a new band. Well, they're not new, but and you're gonna think I'm like fangirling kinda, or like a little girl or whatever. But there's a boy band called Why Don't We? And Ed Sheeran wrote a song for them. And it's really good.
See, I should see if Ed Sheeran could write me a song.
Yeah, I'm sure he would.
Or maybe I should write one for him and send it to him. See what he thinks, because I've totally got that.
You've made it.
Availability.
You've made it.
Yeah. Yeah. Just I'll just shoot him a quick text.
How
Just
would
be
you
like,
do-
"Hey Ed, here's a song I wrote. You want to check it out?" get back to me.
How would you describe your music? Is it kind of like Ed Sheeran's music?
It's kind of like Ed Sheeran's music, yeah. Actually,
Hmm.
it's singer-songwriter definitely, and it's a lot of guitar and a lot of cellos because I think
You
those
play.
are the best instruments ever.
You have cellos in your music.
I have cellos in my music.
Who plays the cello?
Okay, well, I play the cello.
No way.
But I don't actually.
What's that
play
like
the
being
cello.
talented?
Yeah.
Ah, man. You got me there. You don't actually play?
Not yet. That is my next instrument I'm gonna pick up.
So what do you do?
So, that's a lot of music can be written in. Yeah.
Hmm?
A lot of music.
Explain.
So a lot of music
Explain,
can be
please.
written in. So here's what you do. You basically have a keyboard, right?
Yeah.
Not an actual keyboard. This is all digital on a screen. You have a keyboard and each key has a line that goes down. And those lines are divided up beat by beat. So you have the whole notes, quarter notes, half notes, 16th notes, eighth notes, and all that.
I know music kind of.
And
I
so-
play guitar a little bit.
And so then what you do is you just, using your mouse, you can select what you want that keyboard instrument to be.
So I was
And
watching.
then you just input where you want that note to be on the keyboard and for how long.
Okay.
And then you can adjust it
So
and
I was
it comes
watching
up.
John Bellion. You know who John
Yeah.
Bellion is? I was watching like a video of how he made one of his songs called "Luxury."
Yeah.
And he got a trumpet. Well, he doesn't play trumpet, but he got someone to come in who plays trumpet and play each note that he wanted in the song. He played it, and he did that, and he made the beat with the trumpet.
Mm-hmm.
But he wasn't playing the trumpet; he was playing a keyboard. Is it
Yeah,
kind of like
so-
that?
Yeah, it's exactly like that. Only I don't even,
Okay.
because I'm better than him. I don't even.
You're better than John
Yeah,
Bellion.
I don't have to
Watch
get
your
someone.
mouth.
I'm kidding, but I don't even have to get someone to play it. I just have. You can get. You good?
I'm having a coughing fit.
I could tell.
I'm okay.
Yeah.
Rest in peace to my lungs.
Rest in peace, the ears of people using headphones.
I apologize. Okay, sorry.
So you can get software that just has all that in there already. Obviously, the quality would be better, and that's why I'm going to learn how to play the cello. Actually,
Do you have a cello?
I don't have one yet, but I have access to one, and I started to learn. I've got the theory. I just need practice now. So it's lots of practice. So a cello is unlike a guitar. A guitar
It's
has
like a big violin, right?
yeah. It's got the same strings as a violin, and but it's unlike a guitar. Whereas a guitar has frets, and you just have to make sure your fingers get placed down in the frets, in between each fret range
Yeah.
to get the right note. A cello, your fingers actually make the fret. So if you're off by even an inch or a half inch, that messes everything up. So you have to get it just right. To the placement of your fingers on the neck,
Yeah.
just right. Because if you get it off just a little bit, it's not like a guitar where you have a margin of error that'll still count.
Yeah.
So that makes it's just
That must be difficult.
very hard. Yeah, it's quite difficult.
That's gotta be so hard.
And it's the same with the that's the same with the violin,
Or as we like to call them in Mississippi, a fiddle.
Fiddle.
We play fiddle.
I feel like that's more Tennessee. I'm gonna say fiddle in Tennessee.
Yeah, it's South in general.
Yeah, it's South in general.
I mean, I've always called it a fiddle.
I've called it a violin, but that's because I'm not from the South originally, I guess.
yeah,
But anyway, so moving on. I hear you have a segment for us.
So once a month, I'm gonna do a surprise movie review. Okay.
Oh, wow.
I am a huge movie guy. I like movies a lot.
I think everybody likes movies.
Not everybody.
Really?
My mom can't sit through a movie.
Really?
Yeah, she.
How does that work? Because like movies are
I don't know. I'm like, hey, you want to watch this movie? And
Important.
she's like, absolutely not. I cannot sit through a movie.
wow.
But anyway, I love movies, so I'm gonna do a movie review. And I have picked.
Well, so I don't know. I have no idea. All I know is that we're gonna do a movie review.
Yeah.
So this is news to me. First time.
Bryant's gonna review a movie as well, but he doesn't know what movie. That's the importance of it. It's not even gonna be in the title of the podcast at all.
So I just have to guess.
Yes. Actually, switching things up, You want to guess the movie? You want to try to guess the movie?
Okay, yeah.
Okay, it's a 2017 remake of a movie that was very, very famous.
Okay.
Do you want another hint?
Is it Planet of the Apes?
Absolutely not.
No? Okay. Let's wait. Let's see. So it's a 2017 remake.
It came out at the end of 2017.
End of 2017.
And it came out in 2017, but crossed over through 2018.
Crossed over through 2018. Okay. And is it a story of a person?
It's kind of like a video game.
It's kind of like a video game. Is it Fortnite?
It is not Fortnite.
Good, because I would actually leave the room. Okay. Let's see. 2017. I'm trying to remember. Isn't that when Doctor Strange came out?
Yes.
Is it Doctor Strange?
It is not Doctor Strange.
It is
I
not
haven't
Doctor
seen
Strange.
Doctor Strange.
You haven't? That's
I
a
have
good
not.
one. It's kind of like a video game because everything folds. I was with one of my friends, went and saw that, and they said the best word for Doctor Strange is that it's a very foldy movie.
By kind of like a video game, I mean
It's a movie
it's a
about
video.
it.
It's a movie about a video game.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. I don't know what this is, so let's just go with it.
It's Jumanji,
Oh,
the remake.
Okay. The
It's not a
remake.
remake though. It's
Okay.
so.
I
It's
loved that movie. You mean the one with Kevin Hart and The
Kevin
Rock?
Hart and The Rock
Oh
and
my
Jack
gosh,
Black, Nick
yes.
Jonas. It's fantastic.
That is comedy gold right there.
Did you watch it over the summer with us when we watched it? Were you there?
I was not.
Were you there?
I
You were
was
there.
not, yeah.
So anyway, yeah,
We have
it's-
our sound tech in the room. That's who he was just talking to, by the way.
So, yeah,
It's fantastic.
I'm blanking.
movie.
It's amazing. No, so what I
Okay,
was
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
say, what I was gonna say is it's not a remake. It's a sequel,
right.
but it's the sequel / remake that we didn't know we needed till we got it.
Yeah. It's
know what I'm saying?
kind of
It's
it's
like-
kind of like that. Isn't that a Taylor Swift song?
I don't know.
I didn't. I missed you. I didn't know. Anyway.
I don't. Whatever. I
Yeah.
don't listen
There's
to
a
Taylor.
song that's like, something. I forget. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good song. Whatever. That's my favorite. So yeah, it's so good. It's the remake we didn't know we needed till we got it.
Well, it's a sequel.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's
It's fantastic.
I think they said it's a sequel because, I mean, it does carry on the story. Like it starts out where it ended.
I think what they really did best is they didn't try and make. They knew that the original was not serious when
Yeah.
it tried to be.
Yeah.
And so they didn't try and make it serious. They just knew that it was. They knew it was comedy
The original
gold, and
with-
so they went with comedy
The original
gold.
with Robin Williams and Kirsten Dunst
Yeah.
scared me. It
Really?
Was, it
Yeah,
was,
yeah.
Yeah, when I was
Yeah,
little,
when I
scared
first
me.
saw that scared me too.
It was
I watched
scary.
I think I watched it the first time at a sleepover at a friend's house. And like I used this when we lived in apartment buildings.
Yeah.
So they were the apartment directly below my house. And I was scared that my parents were going to like pop through the ceiling, you know, cuz in that one scene in the original where they like fall through the
Yes,
ceiling.
where they go through the
I
ceiling.
was
Well,
terrified my parents were going to just like fall through the
They
ceiling.
kind of melted through the ceiling, but that's not the movie we're talking about. Okay.
Right. Sorry.
So, I will go back and forth with
Yeah.
with the movie, but so the movie starts out. It's these high
It's
school
modern
kids.
day.
It's these high school kids, kind of like a Breakfast Club type thing. They get put in detention.
Yeah.
And they find this video game. So they're like, all right, let's play
By
a
the
video
way,
game.
spoilers are ahead.
Yeah. Spoilers
warning.
are ahead, but like if you
Definitely
haven't seen
go check it out.
if you haven't seen Jumanji, you suck. No.
Wow, that's harsh. You don't. We love you all the same.
No, if you
You're a
haven't seen
beautiful
Jumanji,
human.
you need to see it. Spoilers are ahead. I would say skip about 15 minutes or so.
maybe
maybe
10,
10. I don't know.
20, maybe
It's not gonna
30.
be-
Just stop the podcast. Go watch.
I'm gonna
it.
say the word Jumanji at random points in the show, and if you hear that, no, I'm just kidding. So yeah, it starts out these kids get put in detention like Breakfast Club style. These 4 unlikely kids. They're all from different paths. You got the Instagram.
Oh yeah.
Teen sweetheart girl.
Yep,
You
yep.
got the
Do
dorky
it for the likes.
the dorky boy.
Yep.
Got the jock, and then you got the girl that's kind of like the outcast of the entire school.
Yep.
She's
But actually, like a cool person.
yeah,
but
she's
just
really
kinda the
cool.
outcast.
She's really cool, but she just doesn't have a whole lot of friends.
Because she
or-
doesn't fit all those fake stereotypes that we assume
Yes.
mean friends.
Yeah. So anyway, they start playing this video game, and they they choose these characters and then they get sucked into the video game. So whereas Jumanji, the original Jumanji, the game came into our world, we're
Yeah.
going into Jumanji's world now.
Yes, which I
I mean,
appreciated. I
it
thought that was a
starts
good
out.
twist.
It starts out. They are falling in the sky. The Rock is there, and the guy that
He's actually just a literal rock at this
yeah
moment.
he's Rock. No, it's Dwayne Johnson, the Rock. My guy, like he inspires me. Anyway,
I think he inspires us all
I love
to be a
I
little
love
bit more
Dwayne
buff
Johnson.
and
He
eat
is,
a little bit more calories at every meal.
but he's funny. He's funny, and like normally in a Dwayne Johnson movie, I'm like, oh, he said something funny. That was really funny. But like this movie, it was like
It was
'cause
fall out of your chair.
what was funny was they're all playing people that are different.
Exactly. So as an actor, that must have been exceedingly hard because you're not just acting as a character. You're acting as a character who's acting as a character.
So like the Rock,
you
big
know,
tan, muscly
Goliath
guy,
unit that he is.
not Goliath, but Hercules, because he played Hercules.
Yeah,
Anyway,
Hercules. There you go.
no, but he's this big brown man of a man, but the guy the character he's playing is actually this shy, dorky video game nerd kid
Yeah.
that hasn't come out of his shell yet.
But it's interesting because it's like you get to watch The Rock discover himself
Yes.
as a strong man
Yeah.
because in the real world of this movie he's a wimpy kid and
My
then
favorite part is
in-
he's like looking around his body and he sees his biceps and the Rock's got like 22 inches of heaven
Oh,
on his
yeah.
arm. He's like, whoa, those are massive. But
that
and so
is-
and then you got Kevin Hart,
Oh,
who
yes,
who is
that's-
the jock, and really the only thing that the jock and Kevin Hart have in common is they're black.
wow. Yeah. Yeah. I mean the jock is like 7 foot and then Kevin Hart is
Not
like
exactly.
3.
Yeah,
And
so
then-
one of the jokes is like Kevin Hart's like, yeah, I'm missing the top 2 feet of my body. He literally is, because Kevin Hart's like
Yeah.
5'5".
He's a short dude. He's a hilarious dude.
Yeah, he's really funny.
You know what? I'm short ish. I'm
I'm
kind of
very short. I'm
short for my
5'6".
height, and I'm not hating on short people because I'm short, but I always just say like, you know, the shorter the person, the more goodness is packed in. You know, it's
Yeah.
not spread out as much.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't have to have a lot to love to be. I don't know.
To be loved a lot. There you go.
That's a
You
good
know?
one. Quotable. Hashtag relatable.
Hashtag
Yeah, Kevin
quotable.
Hart is actually 5'4".
Exactly. On the dot.
But like, so anyway, which Kevin Hart just had a controversy. We'll talk about that
Really?
later.
I didn't
Have you not
know
heard
about
about this? We'll talk about that
I'm
later.
kind of not in
All right.
the pop culture.
so anyway,
realm.
this jock is playing as Kevin Hart. It's just really funny to see like how their roles have reversed or whatever, and then Jack Black plays this Instagram princess.
Oh yes, there's
And let me
there's
tell
a
you,
gender swap that takes place.
Jack
and-
Black
oh
was
my
born.
goodness.
He was born to play a teenage girl.
Yes, he
It's
was.
so funny.
So the way I see it is, The Rock is kind of like the that actually makes you want to watch the movie because you know it makes it a good movie, and Kevin Hart has some great one-liners, but Jack Black is just the glue that holds
Yeah,
it together.
so-
like if he wasn't there, it wouldn't be a movie.
My only
you know?
my only issue. I got 2 like bad things I can say about this movie.
Yeah.
The movie's great as a whole. It's very
One, it has
funny.
Nick Jonas.
It is the no. It is the epitome of comedy. Like
Yes,
it was probably the funniest movie of 2017.
And
It's the only movie.
2018.
It's the only movie I sat through the entire movie and laughed my head off.
Oh yes, it was fantastic. I saw it twice in theaters.
I did too.
It was
It was
fantastic.
great both times.
The first time I didn't know what to expect. I watched it with my family actually, and we all died laughing. And then the second time I said, you know,
Can't say died. That was morbid.
wow. We all fell out of our chairs laughing. And the second time I told my friends, I was like,
Okay.
guys, we gotta go hit up this movie.
So back to my
Fantastic.
first problem with the movie.
Yeah.
It's not really a problem with the movie. It's a problem with the actors.
Okay.
Whenever The Rock,
Be careful.
Whenever The Rock and Kevin Hart are in a movie, they're literally just playing characters of The Rock and Kevin Hart. Like they're just playing upscaled versions of themselves.
Yeah.
I haven't ever seen
Yeah, yeah.
them play different characters.
But I feel like that's kind of the point, you know, is like.
But it works.
As a director, yeah, you know that that's what you're gonna get, so you go with that because they just have a great back and forth.
Yeah.
Honestly, I kind of want to see them make a podcast.
That'd be awesome.
We should.
The
we
Rock
should have
was
him
on a
at some point.
podcast
We
recently.
should just have him on at some point.
Yeah, yeah. We'll just I'll Instagram him. I know him
Yeah,
personally. Yeah.
I'll get Ed. You can get The Rock.
Yeah,
we'll
yeah.
We'll have a music.
Let's
we'll
throw
have
in Taylor Swift.
Yeah, we'll have a music and movies, and we can have it.
So anyway,
no, not Taylor Swift. I'm sorry.
Back to the movie review. Back to the movie review. So it also has Karen Gillan. Gillian.
Oh yeah, and she plays in Doctor Who and Marvel.
She's also she's in,
Nebula.
Nebula
in the Guardians of the Galaxy franchise.
And she is the girl that's kind of the outcast, but she's this beautiful girl in the game.
Yeah, she's and she knows like all sorts of karate,
and she's like karate. It's
fantastic.
Killer of men.
Yeah. So it's kind of like
but everyone is like kind of role swapped. They're playing characters they aren't. So like I'm not talking about the actors. I'm talking about the
characters in the movie.
The characters in the movie are playing different
so
characters.
Like the nerd kid plays The Rock, and then the jock kid plays Kevin Hart,
and then Jack Black's a teenage girl.
Yeah, is a teenage girl who's obsessed with Instagram likes, and then the outcast who's doesn't have any confidence is played by Karen Gillan, who has a lot of confidence and all sorts of skill.
And so the movie plot is they have to save Jumanji, basically.
Yeah.
Here's my second bad feedback.
Okay.
The worst bad guy ever.
Yeah.
Not scary. Like, I wish it would have been more like the guy in the original movie.
Yeah.
In the first movie.
Yeah,
he was scary.
Yeah.
That guy was scary because you knew if you crossed his path, you were a goner.
Yes.
But this guy is just kind of like, he doesn't do it. I don't even remember his name. Like, that's how awful
but I feel like that was part of the point is, you know, like...
That's the point in a lot of movies,
Video game villains are always kind of under or overrated.
But he was,
you know?
the least powerful person in the entire movie. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's like...
Yeah, he didn't do anything. Yeah,
but
I get that.
That's what people are going for in movies now.
Really?
Haven't you noticed that in most of like the good guy bad guy movies, the bad guy sucks. Like, not only like sucks as a person, but like he sucks at being a bad guy, and the good guy always wins.
That's kind of true. I see that. Yeah.
So anyway, they have to save Jumanji. And they just go on this adventure. It's hilarious. Go check it out. Nick Jonas is in it. And he plays a upscaled version of Nick Jonas as well. So like, the only person that's like
not themselves
is Jack Black. And
he makes it.
Gosh, he does it so well.
He does.
I can't even.
There's this one scene. I think it's my favorite scene in the entire movie where he has to teach.
Learn how to pee.
No. Where he
That's my favorite part.
Where he has to teach Karen Gillan's character
how to be sexy.
How to be flirtatious. Mm-hmm. And it's hilarious because it's Jack Black teaching Karen Gillan
who is really, really beautiful, by the way.
How to...
Not Jack Black, Karen Gillan.
They both are, let's
I
be
think
honest.
we're butchering her name, by the way. I don't think it's Gillan.
Gilliam or something.
Yeah.
But it's hilarious because it's Jack Black teaching her how to flip her hair and walk, and it's the funniest thing, not because she messes it up so many times, but because Jack Black knows how to do it perfectly.
No, that's what I'm saying. Jack Black was born to play a teenage girl.
He was great.
Another funny part was when they were teaching Jack Black how to pee.
Oh yeah, let's not go there.
We're gonna keep it PG, but he discovered something about himself. But
it was a great movie, however, and there adds a little bit of suspense to it because if you die, it's like most video games. If you die 3 times, you're out, and in this, you know, if you die 3 times, that means you're dead in real life. You won't come back to the real world.
Well, they think so,
but
they never really confirm it.
But what's hilarious is they all have a weakness that's just random.
It's
and
so
funny. You don't,
well,
because it's a video
The Rock
game.
Doesn't have any weaknesses actually.
Right, because he's
all
The Rock.
strength.
Yeah. But it's hilarious because these weaknesses are like video game weaknesses, you know?
Yeah. It's like allergic to bread. You
Yeah,
eat bread,
exactly.
you explode, because that's the thing that happens.
In video games. And so it's hilarious. So there's this, they balance this whole serious things could go horribly wrong and we could die with just the comedic deaths that happen. For instance, Kevin Hart's character takes a bite of bread at one point and then
Yeah.
explodes.
It's cake. He thought it was just regular bread,
Oh.
but he's allergic to pound cake.
Right.
And it was pound
So
cake.
he eats cake and he just explodes. And so it's serious because he's dead and now he only has 2 more lives. But it's hilarious because Kevin Hart just
Because
exploded.
it's Kevin Hart, and he's like, boom, gone. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
And then they come back, and every time they come back, they fall through the sky.
Yeah.
They fall from the sky, and then it's just he lands in this stack of bamboo or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
It's funny. Go check it out if you haven't seen it, and if you have, you're amazing. And if you haven't, you're amazing. No, and it's just I also like the way they did bring in the video game aspect of it. Like they have NPCs.
Yeah, that was fun.
Cutscenes and stuff.
Fun.
I like how they did that. So, yeah, that's the monthly movie review.
The monthly movie review. And our song of the week was Used to Scrub by Sarah Sparks.
Go check both of those out.
Fantastic quality stuff.
Those are not paid promotions, by the way. That was free advertising. We can't be doing that much more often.
We should, though. I mean, literally just our friends who we went and saw the movie with are gonna listen. So
yeah, literally, I think the only people that are gonna listen are like people we know. It's gonna be
right
sad,
now,
but it's whatever.
Give it 3 or 4, and we'll be up there.
And we're not making money off of this.
I mean, Ed will listen. He's a good friend of mine.
Ed, you know my first name basis, huh?
Yeah, Ed.
Ed.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, none of my friends actually know me on a first name basis, and this is a funny
Everybody
thing.
knows you on a last name.
Yeah,
basis.
everybody calls me my last name, which I'm not gonna say, but it's hilarious. Everybody just calls me by my last name, and it's actually kind of funny because they all called my brother by his last name, and now they call me by my last name, same last name.
I remember having to call your brother by his last name.
And it's just
not having to, but
I think it's hilarious, and I can actually say none of my friends know me on a first name basis. Because they all call me by my last name.
I call you Bryant, though. I don't ever call you your last name.
Yeah, you know me on a first name. That's why we're doing a podcast.
Yeah. Should we talk about the Kevin Hart controversy? That's what I wanted to talk about.
Yeah, what's up with this?
So he was going to host the Oscars.
Really?
Yes.
No idea.
He was going to host the Oscars.
Not Oscar from The Office.
No.
Yeah.
The Oscars, the award show.
Right.
Biggest award show on the planet.
I don't watch it, but that's okay.
But
or the Golden Globes. I don't watch award shows.
I don't either.
Am I a bad person?
I watched the MTV award show like twice. But
I watched the Oscars once. I watched them last year.
The Tonys are pretty cool.
The Tonys are fun.
I like musicals though.
Let's talk about musicals for a second.
Hold on, I want to get to Kevin Hart.
We'll get there.
So, we do have a vow to keep things PG, so I'm not gonna say exactly. I can tell you off the podcast what the tweets said, but some tweets resurfaced. Some old Kevin Hart tweets.
But did they have to do with Ryan Reynolds? Because please tell me. I want to see a tweet battle between The Rock, Kevin Hart, and Ryan Reynolds. I feel like that would just be fantastic.
They're all three the king of tweeting, by the way.
Yeah, by the way. Yeah.
But no, Kevin Hart's old tweets resurfaced.
Is it one of these things where they found some dirt on him from a while back?
Yeah, it was like.
Yeah.
It's like 4 or 5, maybe 6 years ago, and he said some things that probably. I mean, they're not the best things. But,
yeah.
But he did have some things that were said, and a certain community got offended, and so he got a lot of backlash from it, and he actually ended up dropping out of hosting the Oscars,
which is unfortunate.
and then he went on Ellen, and Ellen was trying to convince him to go on to continue to be on the Oscars, and he's like, there's no way I'm hosting the Oscars now, like that's done, I'm over it, I just want to move on. And Ellen even tried to like call the people from the Oscars and be like, "Hey, he needs to host."
Yeah,
like, this is because tell me Kevin Hart would be the funniest host.
Having never seen the Oscars, I can guarantee he would be the funniest. Yeah.
Like John Mulaney did it once, I think. No, John Mulaney hosted something else, but anyway. He's in the running to host it, but I think what's going to happen, because nobody wants to host it now
It's gonna be
because
The
of
Rock.
what happened.
It's
no,
gonna be The Rock.
no, nobody's going to host for the first time in like 50 years. No one's going to host the Oscars.
Well, how does that work?
They're just going to have several other people just
It's a bunch of co-hosts,
bunch
sort
of,
of.
not really. They're not going to be hosts. They're just going to be people talking. So it's going to be like one celebrity will come up and introduce something, another,
Yeah,
they're just
yeah.
not going to have one central host.
That's a
that's-
grave misfortune.
That's very awful. And apparently, I don't know what happened, but apparently there was like a fiasco last time. There wasn't a host. It was a long time ago. They didn't have a host. But yeah, no one will host because they don't want their old tweets to resurface either, and
Right.
they don't want
Because
a controversy either.
everybody had that stage in life where they were just dumb.
Dude, I know
young,
I've said
and-
some things that would get me in trouble on Twitter.
Yeah,
and I don't even use Twitter anymore. I haven't used Twitter in like 8 years.
That's what happened to the Guardians of the Galaxy director, James Gunn. They found some stuff on him, and he's not going to be back to direct Volume 3.
And that's unfortunate.
That is, because those two movies were pretty good. They were pretty good. But have you seen his new movie, Brick Burn?
I have not.
The trailer came out. So, it looks like it's going to be... It looks almost a direct ripoff of Man of Steel. So the trailer starts out, they're in a farmhouse. There's a barn where there's obviously some sort of extraterrestrial spaceship hidden under the floor. There's a kid that you definitely know is not the son of these two people living there, husband and wife, but they treat him like a son, but there's things that are slightly different about him. So it looks like a direct ripoff of Man of Steel, but then you realize that the kid isn't the hero, he's a villain. And so it looks very interesting. So instead of being Man of Steel, this alien has come to save us. He turns out to be a villain, and I highly recommend you go check the trailer out. It looks fantastic.
I'll watch that right after the podcast.
It's interesting. It's called Brick Burn, I think, and it looks pretty interesting.
All right. So that has been. I don't know how long this has been, but
It's been a solid 47 minutes, I think.
47 minutes.
Roughly.
I want to backtrack back to New Year's.
New Year's. We're gonna end it off.
And we're
with
gonna
New
end
Year's.
it off with New Year's again.
Yeah.
We started with New Year's. Hey, there's a fella running.
I like that.
Anyway,
I should run.
I
need to
should
get in
too.
shape.
Oh, he's not running anymore.
Oh, he's just
What's
walking
going
back
on?
and forth.
Better not mess with my car. Okay. All right. No, we're going to backtrack to 2019 and the New Year's. And do you have any New Year's resolutions?
I don't.
Do you believe in New Year's resolutions?
I feel like if you believe in New Year's resolutions, you're setting yourself up for disappointment. I feel like instead of New Year's resolutions, we should just strive to get better on a daily basis. I feel like if we try and pin it all on this one day, then instead of giving yourself grace if you mess up, you're like, well, I've already failed my resolution, so why try at this point, But if we're just trying to get better on a daily basis, if you mess up once, you're like, okay, well, I'll just do better tomorrow. But if you have a New Year's resolution and you don't succeed and carry it through, then you're like, oh, well, I just won't even bother at this point because I've already failed. So I feel like you're just kind of setting yourself up for disaster with New Year's resolutions. That said, I do have some resolutions for my life. Not necessarily New Year's, but I want to...
So you want to talk about that?
Yeah, I just want to get... I want to be... I want to be buff like The Rock and funny like Kevin Hart.
You can't have both.
Oh.
It's not possible.
I'll just split the difference and go with Ryan Reynolds. He's kind of buff and funny.
He's kind of buff and funny.
Yeah.
So you can have both, but he's not like buff like The Rock.
Yeah. I feel like when you put so much time into being buff like The Rock, you've got no time to develop a sense of humor.
That guy works out for like 6 hours a day.
Yeah.
Like
every single day.
Did you know that he has his own personal gym that travels with him?
Really?
On movie sets. Yeah, he has a gym. He packs it all up in a truck, and it travels with him wherever he's shooting a movie.
Wow, that's pretty extensive right there.
It's crazy. Yeah. So I think I think we're good. We're just gonna.
Well, do you have any New Year's resolutions?
No, I don't believe in that.
You don't believe?
I mean,
that?
I would be like, oh, I'm gonna get skinny, but like I always end up eating like a Pop-Tart on the first day, and
just
I used to
doesn't go
do New
good
Year's
from there.
resolutions. I used to be like, yeah, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna make straight A's in school, and then like,
But then when you didn't make that first A or you ate that first Pop Tart, you were like, well, I failed, and so then you gave up, right?
yes, I do.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
exactly.
did.
So I
I'm
feel
sorry.
like,
My mind was on Pop Tarts. I love Pop Tarts. Yeah, go ahead.
but I feel
Pop
like,
Tarts. That's not a free brand deal. You owe me money.
but I feel like, see, once you just, when you do it, say it's a New Year's resolution, you're just setting yourself up for disaster. So don't make New Year's resolutions, make new me resolutions.
Okay. Well,
This has been our weekly podcast.
remember it's gonna come out every Saturday, around noon or so, or whenever Bryant decides to upload it.
Don't put that on me.
It is on you. It's on your computer.
I will email the files to you, and it'll be your responsibility.
Fine. Yeah. So
I'm too busy.
it'll come out on
I gotta
Saturday.
I gotta make that album. Remember?
Yeah. It'll come out on Saturdays. Be sure to like and subscribe. I guess I'm not a YouTuber,
You don't
so I
like
don't know how to do that.
Just
Yeah, you do on YouTube. You like and subscribe.
tune in next week when we have a different song of the week.
Yeah, and well, next week we won't have a movie review, but we'll probably talk about movies because that's my thing, bro.
I feel like this podcast could be named Music and Movies. I mean, that's kind of what we talked about.
It's Bryant and Brennan. Actually, it's in the moment.
It's
And
in the
let me
moment.
check let me check this. Let me show you this slogan
Okay,
I created for
you got
us.
the slogan for us?
The slogan, the reason behind "in the moment," is because we plan for the future and live in the moment. You gotta live every moment as if it's your last.
I like
Not
that.
necessarily as if it's your last, but live it to the fullest.
I like that. I like
So,
that.
That has been the
Live
first
in the
episode
moment.
of In the Moment,
Yeah.
and we're gonna end it
Yeah, we are.
right
All right.
now.